Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, juice. It is April the 22nd, 2021, and today the topic is on mind. This morning, I want to give a special shout out to Ewan. Yes, to Ewan. I usually give you a shout out at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a shout out right here at the beginning because, to be completely honest, you were one of the reasons I went on here and got up this morning. God used you to convict my heart and mind this morning because honestly, when I woke up, I was not feeling it at all. I didn't want to do either one, though I didn't want to do my routine nor get up, none of that, right? Um, but I happened to look at my phone and I didn't necessarily pay attention to what time it was today, but I saw that you commented. I saw that you left the comment for I think yesterday's episode, and I want to say probably like 40 minutes prior to me waking up. So so thank you for what you do. You may not think it means much for you to leave these comments every day, but um, it does. It means something to me. So thank you. And again, I probably not to say I wouldn't have gotten up, but I wasn't in the mood. I didn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? And but reading your comment and knowing that at the end of the day someone is listening um was part of the reason I went ahead and got up. So thank you. Um Speaking of that as well, like I got a few confirmations yesterday. I guess I'll tell you guys real quick what happened yesterday. So long story short, I mean I well those of you that follow me on Instagram, you already know, but I ended up doing the virtual acting class again with the two young students, and yeah, I mean it was nice overall. I mean, like part of me wants to be completely honest. Are you guys my diary now? Like, what is it? I'm telling you guys all the details and stuff. Okay, maybe I shouldn't get into like details or whatever, but I would just say I enjoyed, the lesson. They tend to, I guess, enjoy me and, my feedback and my, experience. I've been sharing a little bit of my acting experience. And it was very crazy how at the end of the lesson, one of the students was like, Miss Miracle, do you love to teach X, Y, and Z? Or why do you teach X, Y, and Z? And I just was like, wow, it's crazy you asked that question because at the end of the day, I questioned should I teach, and I didn't know I was going to share this with them, and I didn't know I was going to share this with y'all. But anyway, I questioned teaching because I mean I told you guys my mindset has shifted in regards to acting and mainstream art, if you want, or the film industry, Hollywood, all that. My mind has shifted. Like my mind was never like fully on it anyway. I perform because I love performing. Um, yeah, okay, I'm an actor, so of course, I had dreams of Hollywood and big movies and all these things too. Of course, I watch TV shows and see myself in them. I mean, well, then, I mean, now my mind is just like on this. It's on like GSL. My mind is on, creating my own movies. That's what my mind is on. So because of that, I question should I teach because I don't want to discourage the young ones. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, their journey can be completely different from my journey. Um, so yeah, that is part of the reason I question should I do it. But I mean, if I'm able to, give them some type of wisdom and knowledge, some things, or share with them some things that I didn't know when I got started, that will hopefully help them get a better perspective of everything as they get started. Um, then I think that's what that's about, as well as just my love to perform. So that happened yesterday, and as I said on Instagram, they almost made me cry because they was just like, telling basically they just kind of was sharing how much, that it meant to them that I was teaching them and whatnot. And I just was like, man, you can tell that they have great parents. I don't know if they're just buttering me up or whatever because I'm like the new sub or whatever the case is. But I'm like, you have no reason to butter me up. Like I'm not giving you a grade after this. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It meant a lot, the things that they were saying. And so yeah. So again, I hope that I helped overall, by sharing my experience as well as, giving my feedback on their performances and stuff like that. And yeah, that was that. So that was yesterday. I want to say I went to bed at a decent hour. I can't even remember what time it was though. But for whatever reason, I woke up and I was not in the mood. But I'm here, y'all. Bright eyed and bushy tail, here to give you guys juice. You know what I'm saying? And so thank and praise God for that. Um, I was gonna tell you guys, I got another confirmation as well in regards to, so I got some more, wise counsel. You guys probably saw some wise counsel yesterday. My mom was commenting on the on the episode of the juice yesterday, and so she, shared her words of wisdom and everything like that. So I pretty much at some point yesterday, as I was posting on Instagram and kind of just sharing some of my thoughts, um, eventually someone let me know that my thoughts, was a good reminder for them. And for me, that was confirmation that, at the end of the day, it's like you don't understand why you go through certain stuff and you don't understand like for what purpose am I for me, like I shared with you guys yesterday, I was like, man, why am I keep thinking about this? Like, why are they on my mind? Like, is it for them or is it for me? Like, well, who is it for? Like, why am I sitting here thinking about this stuff, X, Y, and Z? And then I guess coming to the conclusion that I came to, I just happened to share it again. Like a lot of times when I share stuff, it's for me. It's not, but apparently it blessed somebody else. And so for me, that was confirmation because I was like, well, at the end of the day, again, you don't know who you're blessing just by being obedient and just sharing, being a witness, being a, sharing your testimony. Um, so yeah. So perhaps, that's what I was lamenting the past couple of days for. So then that person who saw on Instagram could get that reminder that they received yesterday. So you never know. Like it could just be that simple. So hey, I'm glad that you got, you got some type of revelation as well as I did, and we all got some type of confirmation by me sharing my testimony of being confused about friendships and all that stuff. But let's get into this topic of own mind. So it's interesting because I kind of talked a little bit about this yesterday, which I didn't know I was going to talk about this today. But anyway, I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and my mom kind of said in her comment as well, something along these lines about me having my own mind and everything like that. Now, um, okay, I thought I was gonna say this in the after show, but I guess I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. Of course, I know that there's a lot of things going on in the world, right? And I know, especially here in the United States, and I know about the current event and everything like that. Um, However, I don't feel led to speak on that. You know what I mean? Like I don't, my mind, not saying it's not on that, but that's the only way I can explain it right now. Like, I'm I haven't felt led to talk about that. So I'm just not gonna talk. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. And I prayed about that as well this morning. But I want to say, when was it? At some point, the phrase "on mind" came into my mind as I was either doing my routine or praying. And then as I was praying, the phrase "out of this world" came into my mind. And I guess it kind of led me to be like, well, or just to pray specifically for that, because I just was like, well, Lord, at the end of the day, I know what your word says about, not being led by our own thoughts and, all these different things. But I did say that, hey, I feel a little bit strange to not be for my mind to not be on the things that the world's mind is on the current events. I'll put it like that. So it does feel a little bit strange, but at the same time, I'm just like, get back into the live, y'all. Okay, so for those of you that are live, my apologies. My device just went out of nowhere. Um, but such is life, right? But I just shared with the podcast people the verse that led me to go deeper today, and that is Titus 1:15. Um, I won't reread it at this point. I'm just gonna keep going, but you guys can, read that on your own. Uh, but anywho, so yeah, that is the verse that let me go to deeper. So I went to Titus 1 and I read the entire thing. So that is the go deeper for today, Titus 1. And I'm just going to share with you guys the verses that stood out to me. So the verses that stood out to me were 6 and 7, which says, if any be blameless, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of riot or unruly, for a bishop must be blameless as the steward of God, not self-willed, not soon angry, and given to wine, no striker, no given, or excuse me, not given to filthy lucre. So, for whatever reason, like I won't say the pastors' names, but I want to say some pastors flashed through my mind as I read this verse this morning. Um, and I guess it made me ask the question of like how, like when we look at these individuals, like who fits this mold? You know what I'm saying? Now it's a whole nother conversation, this whole, you know, Lord help me, Jesus. Okay, fine. If you want me to say it, Lord, it's a whole different conversation, this whole, women pastor situation, um, or women bishop situation. Um, I mean, I guess that's why I'm being very clear that I'm not a pastor. Like I'm not trying to preach. And I know somebody said to me like you know they enjoy my I don't know if you guys consider this to be preaching. I don't consider this to be preaching, and I'm not trying to. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. We ain't got to get into it too deep this morning. But I mean, it does say husband of a wife. You know what I'm saying? And those are gender specific. um, usually. And so, but that again, a whole nother conversation, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, when I just think about this phrase in particular, when it comes to bishops and people that are supposed to be stewards of God, um, you know, yeah, not self-willed, not soon angry, not and given to wine, strikers, not given to filthy lucre. I ended up having to, and hopefully I'm saying that correct, lucre or lucre. Interesting. But anyway, lucre, lucre. I'm just gonna say lucre. Um, I did look up that word because that is not a word that I use frequently. And it says money. It says money, especially regarded as sordid or distasteful or gainful, excuse me, or gained in a dishonorable way. So for me, I just pretty much summed that up to be dirty money. Um, so yeah, not given to dirty money. And it kind of made me reflect on like leadership in these people that are supposed to be these stewards or whatnot. And unfortunately, I think this is probably why a lot is being revealed, for who's real versus who's not. You know what I mean? Who's like true stewards of God, who versus who's not. Um, because there would be nothing to expose if you were on the up and up, for example. Um, but hey, that's no judgment on nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying what it had me think about this morning when I read this verse. So then, the next verses that stood out to me was 10 and 11, and it says, "For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths should be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake." There it is again, dirty money, y'all. um, yeah, again, like who was just doing it for dirty money's sake? Like who? I mean, it's a um. Yeah, reflecting on this whole thing or reading this entire Titus, I mean, obviously it's clear that basically, Paul left Titus to find, you know, leaders in different households or different like communities or whatever the case is. That's what they're talking about here. But I mean, obviously, this all could just still fit for us in this time as well. Because I guess we can see who's there for the filthy lucre or the dirty money, and again, who's being true stewards of God and everything. So I don't know, just something to think about. That's what I came across today. I'm just sharing it, y'all. Anyway, so and then verse 16 stood out to me as well. It says, "They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate." Uh yeah. I looked up reprobate too. But unfortunately, I forgot to write it down. So I guess you guys can do that as well if you want to, add that to your Go Deeper section today to look up that word or whatever. Because I believe here is different from another definition of it. But yeah, you guys can check that out on your own. That's technically the juice. That's what I found this morning. That's what I received, and I'm just sharing it with you on this day. Now, the Bible verse of today is Philippians 2 and 3. It says, "Let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you have it, good people. Facebook, YouTube, that is the juice. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Obviously, it's my phone. Um, I finally saw it go to 100% yesterday, and it was at 100% when I woke up this morning. But I had it plugged up the whole time since I've been in here. But it's like the battery is going down, it's going lower and lower since I've been in here, which is crazy. But hey, thank you for tuning in. If you tuned in, again, shout out to Ewan. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, brother, for doing what you did and sharing and commenting like you did. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, you can tell me if you want to. But I was gonna say I don't know like what makes you. Well, one, I don't know what made you watch me originally, and then I don't know what makes you comment to me every day. But I appreciate it. I really do. And like I said this morning, it helped me get on up this morning. Um, so yeah, yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Thank you. Say God is using you to convict little old me. So I appreciate that. It's like, well, not just convict me, but just accountability. Like, and I think, and not trying to just sell journals, y'all. Like, it's crazy because yeah, I'm about to talk about the journal, but so when I created the journal, one of the things that I put on it, or I put in it, or whatever, it's for people to consider the journals as like a tangible accountability. And it was funny because I know I call this a daily dose of inspiration. And so someone pretty much was like, oh, when they saw my cover, they was like, oh, why didn't you put like daily dose of inspiration or whatever? And I'm just like, well, instead of like in the juice cup, I actually have like, did you read your Bible today? And they were like, why did you put that? Why didn't you just put like a daily dose, or get your daily dose or something like that? And I'm like, well, no, I wanted it to be. I wanted, first of all, well, the journal is supposed to be like a physical accountability. Um, hey, what's up, Cuzzo? Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you caught me. It's crazy. This thing tried to go out. So look, it was trying to stop you from receiving what I had to say today because it went out on me earlier. But thank and praise God, it came back on and everything like that. What I'll say also about the journal real quick. So yeah. So but I wanted the journal to be a physical accountability partner, like a tangible accountability partner. Like, okay, you purchased this journal, for example. If you purchased it, in there's like a little thing to help you, you figure out a day and time that you want to do this thing for the next 30 days and all of that, right? So that already should help convict you to be like, okay, I committed to do this for 30 days. But then I wanted the book itself to be a conviction as well, which is crazy. But I wanted you guys to be able to look at the journal, and it literally asks you, did you read your Bible today? To remind you that, hey, I purchased this thing. I made a commitment to commit 30 days to do this thing. And just by looking at it alone, I'm reminded that I need to do that. So that's what I created the journal to be. But again, this, the podcast, GSL, the juice, this segment, and me waking up in the morning, and you guys that comment to me and stuff like that, you guys are that for me. And so, I mean, so that's the interesting thing. You know what I mean? You guys are my accountability. You know, again, when I woke up this morning, I wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel like getting up. But knowing, one, that I had said to myself that I want to do this, one, I gave myself a certain time to do this, and a certain time that I wanted to put things out in X, Y, and Z. And then again, like I said, seeing Ewan's comment this morning was another, like, thing to remind me to be accountable to what I said I was going to do. So, and then, hey, and already my cousin, who I call Scooby Doo, is like another confirmation to me that I did what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? So I hope you received something today, Cuzzo. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for again being confirmation for me. Like, that's what all this is. I think and hopefully you take what I said and, pay it forward to someone else and everything like that. Hopefully it gave you something to think about or whatever the case is. But yeah, that's it, y'all. That is the juice. Like, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for, listening and watching. I'm about to get the podcast version out. So if you guys didn't hear the entire thing, because again, I know the thing went out on us and everything like that. So you can hear the entire version of this on, godsexandlove.com. You'll hear or I'm going to be sharing the podcast version momentarily. But let me see. Let me give you a chance to say something, Scooby Doo, while this thing is still alive. You got something to say before I log off or whatever? Anything? Look, 10 seconds. 10, 9. I know there's like a delay when you guys comment. So you probably already commented, but I probably won't see it until like a few seconds later. But there it is. He says nope. All right, no problem, man. Well, thank you again for tuning in. I hope you have a blessed day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. Bye bye.